let's get atonal about things. Come on, it doesn't always have to be neat little key signature patterns. What am I on about? Well, this is a step up from the last video. I showed you a Winds electric acoustic. This is probably the next tier in price. And this one correctly doesn't have the logo on the headstock like most classicals don't. I don't know why Winds did that. I forgot to point out in the last video. I never liked the logo on classical guitars. It's not traditional. But anyway, this is an Admira. This is the Spanish company that I featured before, but this is a different model than we've seen so far. Now, just because it's a Spanish company, you shouldn't assume that all their models are made in Spain. They're not. Some of their entry levels, like this one, are made in China. That's not to say it's a bad guitar. It is a solid spruce top model. Kind of a nice rosette on that. I'm not sure if you're getting that. And it is a cutaway 39-inch full-size classical. And, you know, the dimensions are a little bit different from a lot of classical cutaways. The bout thickness and the waist is a little bit different, I think. So maybe this is not aimed at the classical purist, but more, you know, your person who wants an electric nylon string for whatever reason. And this is the SARA EC from Admira. So you've got the solid spruce top this time, and then you'd be forgiven for thinking this is rosewood. It is not. It is walnut. So it's a walnut back and sides, heavy gloss, but it has that dark sort of rosewood look to it. So people are going to mistake that for rosewood, but it's walnut. The fretboard looks like ebony, but it's on their website. It says Purple Heart. Looks a lot like ebony, although it could have been stained, I suppose. Nothing came off in the polishing, unlike, you know, with some stain boards, but it certainly looks like ebony. Then you have very, very normative chrome tuners with this sort of white plastic buttons on here. The walnut-faced headstock, so it matches the back and sides. I first thought this was Fishman. It looks just like a Fishman, but it says Admira TR30 preamp on here, and I wouldn't be surprised if this were made by Fishman. It looks very, very close. But it's got your little tone dials, presence, onboard tuner, main volume on that. And it works pretty well. It works a lot and feels a lot like a Fishman Precis system. And unlike the last electric acoustic where you could kind of hear the wires rattle, everything's pretty tight on the inside, so there are no issues with that. There's your jack with the 9-volt there. Sounds pretty good. And this is definitely higher quality guitar than the last one I played, the $160 one. I believe these sell for around $279, something like that, maybe $269. So it's $100 more, but you immediately feel $100 more in quality when you pick this up after picking up a real entry-level budget model. The graduations of this guitar are better. It has better tone. The electronics are better too. Yeah, it's actually a nice guitar. There's the mahogany neck. African mahogany, I believe. So the materials are better as well. Nice Spanish heel on that. Nicely carved. Yeah, I like the fact that it doesn't have pronounced binding, so it looks seamless as you go from side to back, and then very, very subtle black binding towards the edges. Of course, binding is not just aesthetic, it also holds the guitar together and gives it some rigid structure. Yeah, very nice guitar. Plays really nicely. You've got that cutaway for access up here, because that's where we all play, right? So yeah, I am impressed with this, as I have been with the other Admira guitars that I've had in the past. I did have to do some setup. The action was too high. It did need a slight truss rod adjustment, and very little, just a few burrs on the corners of these frets that just needed knocking off. I take a 3-cornered file and I just knock off the burrs on each edge, and it's very smooth after that. It does have binding, even though you can't see it. It's black binding on the neck, so it's quite smooth. It's quite well done. Yeah, really nice guitar. I do think the saddle and nut are bone as well, which is an improvement on the other guitar. Much more natural finish as well. So yeah, good. This is Admira SARA, SARA-EC. It is one of their Chinese-made, more entry-level guitars, but I believe they are shop adjusted in Spain or something like that. And that's what I think the tag on it that I pulled off said. Unfortunately, these don't come, or at least this one didn't come with a gig bag. I wish Admira would do that. I always say that for companies that don't do that. I think it would improve their profile. I don't see too many Admiras. They need a boost in the American market, and one thing they could do is include a nice gig bag with this nice solid top guitar. It would be worth doing. All right, folks, just bringing you some different information and models. I had a slew of setups that I did early this week, and just shooting some videos and catching you up on some of these new models. There'll be a couple more that need a bit more extensive work to show you in the very near future. So yeah, take care, stay well, and I'll see you soon.